Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm Theodore Henry. June is observed as Road Safety Month in Jamaica, a time dedicated to raising awareness about responsible road use and reducing traffic-related incidents. As part of the month's activities, Toll Road Safety Week wrapped up on Saturday, June 28. The week began on June 22 and is now officially observed following a proclamation by Governor General Sir Patrick Allen. But what does it mean to really be safe on the toll road? Joining us to share toll road safety tips and more is Mr. Delon Warp, Senior Toll Inspector of the Toll Authority of Jamaica. Welcome to the program, Mr. Warp.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Let's jump into getting some facts right here. Now, from your experience as a Senior Toll Inspector, right, I got that right?
Yep.
Right. From your experience, what are some of the major or the more common challenges that toll road users face?
Speeding, distracted driving, mechanical failure of their vehicles. Interesting, about 60% of accidents on the highway are caused by speeding or, driver error, actually.
Right.
Yeah. We also have animals on the toll roads, goats, cows. And weather challenges, whether it be rain or fog or smoke.
Okay. I want to zoom in on a couple of those. Talk to me about speeding. Now, how do you find toll users treat that speeding issue? It's a nice road.
It's a nice road, and we try and keep it very smooth and nice. So we have a lot of skating on the road. So what we try to do, though, is enforce the speed limits. So we have the speed limit signs. We have police on the toll road. The police work with the toll authority very closely to ensure that there's compliance with that.
Okay.
We also have, we try and keep the lighting on the toll road there, lane markings and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Animals. I was a little curious when I heard you mention animals. Animals on the toll road, that's a thing.
Sadly. What we have is, because the toll roads go through a lot of farming communities, we have people who in the communities want their goats to eat. So they will cut the fence and actually just let the animals onto the toll road.
That's on the grassy sides, or they're allowing them to cross?
Well, they're just letting them onto the toll road. So the thing is, animals will just follow wherever they see grass. So you'll have animals actually crossing the toll roads. We have a lot of accidents from that. We also have, we've regrettably had fatalities from it as well.
Now, how do you treat that as the, I'm going to say operator, but you need to correct me.
Correct. So toll authority, we are the regulator of the toll road. Some of the things that we do enforce is we try and ensure that the fence are repaired immediately. So when you have farmers or people in the community cutting fence or dismantling fence, we try and ensure that we can replace it as quickly as possible. We'll also try and have different community outreach programs where we'll go into the communities and talk to the farmers and be like, hey guys, and trying to educate them to understand, hey, I know you want your goats to eat, but try and do it off the toll road.
Yeah. Okay, so proactive and reactive.
Correct.
Reaches. Okay, so misconceptions about the toll road. What do you find people think about the toll road which is not true at all?
Well, the biggest misconception that I experience, having worked with the toll authority for almost 10 years now, people think the toll authority is the actual operator of the toll road when we're the regulator.
You have to open up that distinction for me.
So the operators on toll road now, you have the East-West Highway, which is operated by Transjam Highway, which is now 100% owned by Jamaicans.
Okay.
And then you have the North-South Highway, which is from Kingston to Ocho Rios or Miami Bay.
So in a very practical sense, what does that mean that you are the regulator but not the operator?
So the operators actually handle the maintenance and collect the toll and all of those things. What the regulator does, we enforce the contract. So we ensure the maintenance standards of the road and we ensure that different safety elements are there. And whenever an operator is caught slipping, we target them, we speak to them, we can even bring them to court if needs be.
Okay. Any other misconception, especially if you mentioned the two main ones?
Yeah, well, one of the misconceptions is the speed limit. Everybody thinks, okay, I'm on a toll road, so it's the same speed limit. But you actually have to pay attention to the signs because the speed limits for both highways are different, and you can even have different speed limits on the same highway.
Right.
So North-South Highway is 80 kilometers, not 110.
At its max.
80 at its max.
Right.
But there are sections where it's 60. Especially that last segment going down to Miami Bay, that last hill.
Right. And you have the scheme sort of on the other side. Yeah, I know the one you're talking.
Okay. And then on the East-West Highway now, it's 110, but there are 80-kilometer sections on it as well. So, so one of the main things is people just assume it's the same speed limit everywhere. So we try and enforce that by having the police on the highway, speed limit signs, and different things like that.
So it's not the same speed limit. It's also not the same rate, is it? Because I can imagine that people might sometimes go on one and plan their trip and come with the same rate. But it's not the same.
So that's a good point to bring up, because it's different rates, but not only that, because it's different operators, you have different tag systems. So one of the things that happens quite often is someone will top up their T tag for the East-West Highway and assume that their T tag can work on a North-South Highway, when it's a different device in its entirety. So
North-South uses which one? Which tag system?
They use a OBU system, so it's actually more of a device that is planted on the windshield.
Yeah. Okay, I'm familiar with it. So if we're using both toll roads and we want to go the tag system, we need two different tags.
That is correct. For now. One of the things that the toll authority is doing now, we're trying to drive the operators towards an interoperable system, where ideally you just have one tag that can go on every highway.
Oh, okay. That sounds that sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I hope you are very successful in the near future.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Mr. Warp, for sharing those valuable insights on toll road safety with us today. Up next, we'll be taking a closer look at social impact assessments. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Time to slow down. Cut the speed, let it up and go. The road cold and up, play. Use the light in a night or day. Speed kills when you're in a hurry. Hit the child and then you cry sorry. But if you cut the speed, nobody life would bleed. Wow, stop it and please. Just cut the speed. Taxi, bus driver, bike man, whole ladder, markets and under. Where are FIFA? Where are race? So stop! The sign it said, children crossing the speed on them. When they see a pedestrian crossing, just stop. Don't drive past them. Road safety time, a time to slow down. Cut the speed or you don't come grow.
Motorists, please look out for us when we're crossing the road.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We're continuing our discussion on toll road safety, this time with a closer look at social impact assessments, or SIAs, as they relate to toll roads. We'll explore what the process entails and the value it brings. Joining us to provide greater insight is Kerry K. Holness, Corporate and Administrative Manager at the Toll Authority of Jamaica. Welcome to the program, Mrs. Holness.
Thank you, Theodore.
Let's jump right into it. This, you have to give us the facts. What is a social impact assessment in the context of toll roads?
Okay, so social impact assessments are research-based projects, and these used to evaluate a toll road project. So for example, when we were doing the Maypen to Williamsfield leg of Highway 2000, we looked at how the construction affected the social, economic, and cultural fabric of those surrounding communities. So SIA involves gathering baseline data on the affected communities before construction. We also look at assessing the direct and indirect impacts, both negative and positive, during and after construction phases. We look at vulnerable groups such as the business owners, farmers, and communities, because a lot of times when these roadways or corridors are constructed, you have displacements taking place.
Right. Because that's a pretty wide road, and then you have the buffer at the side as well.
Yes.
Right. So walk me through, how does a SIA happen?
So, an SIA, so as it's termed, social impact assessment. So you look at, so it's an assessment of how the building of these roads have an impact, social impact on the communities, the persons living there, how are they displaced. So in terms of the building of toll roads, planning and building, so the SIAs identify community concerns early, such as displacements,
Right.
toll affordability, and access restrictions. At times, some routes, based on how the roadway is cut, you want to ensure that the access routes are preserved. So you want to keep those older routes maintained. It also informs planning and design to minimize any negative impacts.
Right.
So as I mentioned, preserving access routes and supporting local vendors.
So toll authority would have people like go around and go to the businesses, go to the
Yes.
homes, talk to people one-on-one?
Yes. So for these projects, for these research-based projects, as I indicated before, we would go through the general GOJ procurement process of engaging a consultant
Right.
to take on this research.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I'm very curious about this.
Yes.
If somebody they have their house or their farm and a displacement has to happen,
Yes.
how do you treat with that?
Those are situations that it's it frequently happens, yes, during the building of these roadways. And we work closely with other stakeholders, such as NROC, and NROC, who are the grantors of concessions on behalf of the government. So they work through displacements in terms of relocation and land acquisition and so on.
Right.
So when there is discussion, so you have town hall meetings, you meet with the residents, you get the feedback. If it's necessary based on the boundaries, and you'll hear the term from time to time, delineation. So based on the project, in terms of the route of the project, if there's a possible displacement, then something is worked out with the residents and they get support for relocation. And there are times too, when persons really don't want to just up and move because, think about it. You're settled. Your family has been settled for years, and it's one of the hardest decisions to uproot and move. But as I said, it's something that's discussed, and reviewed from all points in terms of how it will benefit and the positive aspect of it, that is to the residents.
Right. So case by case basis.
Yes, case by case.
It always
basis.
happens a certain way. We're almost at the end, but tell me something. It sounds as if so far we've been discussing it one way. So the SIA is done, the consultation is done. We find a way to, if you need to move, you move, all of that. Has it ever happened the other way, where an SIA is done based on what is discovered, it impacts how the road is constructed?
Well, I can't say on point that it in the reverse. But it does affect. It does. It does affect if there is any leeway.
Right.
The decision to say, all right, let's go 60 meters out or in to avoid displacing. And also you look at the long-term impact. So if you do go 60 meters out or 60 meters in, how close is the roadway to the housing structure or the residential structure?
Right.
And will the long-term impact, negative impact, noise levels, yes, you still have dust, but remember the roadway is already constructed and now it's being utilized. However, you talk about there's a close proximity of a residential property to a corridor that's heavily traversed, transportation, lot of motor vehicles, not just one type of vehicle, different classes of vehicles, different cars, different modes of transportation via the corridor. And you have to look at the safety as well. So it's not just about displacing or say let's move this home, or meet with the residents to say it's best to relocate, but you look at those things, the safety impact.
Thank you so much for educating us on SIAs in relation to toll roads.
Yes.
Our guests today were Delon Warp, Senior Toll Inspector, and Kerry K. Holness, Corporate and Administrative Manager, both from the Toll Authority of Jamaica. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm Theodore Henry. Take care.